8 Strange Facts Surrounding Whitney Houston's Death. When we look at the facts and the occurrences surrounding Whitney Houston's death, coupled with the symbolic elements of the 2012 Grammy Awards, the entire event has the looks of an occult ritual, complete with a blood sacrifice, a celebration and even a rebirth. Some of the things I will show you here were pre-planned, while others were possibly just odd coincidences. However, the overwhelming and almost palpable energy emanating from the 2012 Grammys definitely made some things align in a synchronistic fashion. Did Whitney fall out of the good graces of the music industry elite? Difficult to say, but Whitney appeared to have premonitions about her death. Some reports described her as manic and agitated, while others state that Whitney felt that her days were numbered. Let's look at the most significant events that happened during that fateful weekend. 1. Unseen forces. As in the cases of Michael Jackson, Amy Winehouse, Heath Ledger, Brittany Murphy and many others, bizarre events preceded and followed the death of Whitney Houston. After reviewing all of those accounts, one cannot help but wonder, was Whitney's death truly an accident? Or was it a deliberate sacrifice, planned by unseen forces? While most media reports drum into people's heads that Whitney Houston equals drugs, some sources reveal other details that might lead to other paths of thinking. Here's Roger Friedman's account of things that happened at the Beverly Hilton on February 11th. Whitney Houston's death made for a long day's journey into night at the Beverly Hilton. While the Clive Davis Grammy dinner had to proceed downstairs in the ballroom with 800 guests already filing in as the news was breaking, Whitney remained in state, so to speak, in her 4th floor suite. She was not removed until just moments before the party ended, a little after midnight. She'd been in the suite, discovered in her bathtub. But there were many people in the suite when this happened at 3:50 p.m., including her daughter Bobby Christina, her brother Gary, sister-in-law Pat Houston, and another player in this story, a nightlife friend who'd been guiding her around town the last few days as she was photographed in states of duress. Around 11 p.m. What you don't know is that around 11 p.m., paramedics were called back to the 4th floor. Security and police raced back to the 4th floor. A medical wheelchair with restraints was brought in through the back entrance to the hotel. Bobby Christina freaked out. Well, she'd been upstairs for hours with her mother's dead body in the next room. It was understandable. The paramedics thought they were going to have to take her to the hospital. But calm was restored. For 10 minutes, though, security cleared the entire lobby of the hotel while the concert was going on inside the ballroom. I was out there at that moment, and it was one of the strangest scenes ever. 3. A leak in the night before, at 2:30 a.m. A man on the 3rd floor, right underneath Houston's suite, suddenly experienced water cascading into his bathroom from above, at 2:30 a.m. It wasn't just a trickle. The man called security, then went upstairs to the 4th floor to see what was going on. He swears to me that it was Whitney's bathtub that was overflowing. He also says that a flat-screen television had been broken. The screen was smashed. My sources at the hotel say there was a leak but that it wasn't from Whitney's room. My source, this man, insists that he was told it was Whitney Houston's room. It does seem to have been part of her group of rooms. There are many mysteries here. None of them have been reported or solved by TMZ or one of the other muckraking tabloids. I know the man who had to pull Whitney out of the bathtub and attempt to give her CPR. He told me that she was already dead, there was nothing he could do. The show must go on. The fact that her body was there for hours, while a pre-Grammy party was happening just below is a little off-putting. Why wasn't it simply cancelled? Isn't the presence of the dead body of a legendary singer in the same exact location as the party reason enough to cancel it? Was there some type of twisted thrill of partying right below Houston's body? Five, the mystery Dutch man. In another article, Roger Friedman noted the presence of a strange Hollywood insider lurking around Whitney Houston that was also around Michael Jackson during his difficult periods. Who is that guy? Whitney Houston's mystery friend was also Michael Jackson's pal. Here's the one person in the Whitney Houston story whose name you have not heard, and who has remained a mystery, a Dutch man from Amsterdam who goes by the name of Raffles van Exel. He is also known, in court records, as Raffles Dawson and Raffles Benson. He was on the 4th floor of the Beverly Hilton Hotel in one of Houston's suites when she died. He appeared downstairs in the lobby shortly thereafter, wearing aviator sunglasses, sobbing. Despite the shock of Whitney's death, Raffles still made it downstairs to Clive Davis's party. He was dressed in formal wear, had Whitney's tickets in his hand, and intended to sit at her table. Just inside the ballroom he was comforted by celebrities to whom he related his story. I found Whitney. Gayle King hugged him. Quincy Jones listened patiently to his story. A security guard told me later, well, he was up there. He was also hanging around with Houston all week prior to her death. On Tuesday when she emerged from a nightclub, looking disheveled, Raffles appears in a photograph on TMZ like a deer in headlights. He is standing right behind her in a powder blue suit. On Twitter, he wrote, "Stop reading the stupid blogs. Whitney had a great time, she looked amazing. Nothing was wrong, it was just damn hot in that club." But who is Raffles van Exel? He's one of Hollywood's mysteries. Was this man instrumental in Whitney's sacrifice? 6. What was in Whitney's secret note to Brandy? Shortly before her death, Whitney was spotted handing singer Brandy a message whose contents remained a mystery. Singer Brandy is not telling anyone what it says. On February 9 in Los Angeles, Houston approached the younger singer, as she and fellow singer Monica and mentor Clive Davis were conducting an interview with E! A post on RyanSeacrest.com says Houston crashed the interview. Then goes on to say, Whitney seemed a bit manic, as she told Monica about swimming 2 hours a day, and conspicuously handed a note to Brandy before hugging Davis. As you will see, her hair seems to be wet.
I'm just saying love it because I can't. I love it.
And to pay tribute.
It's my dad. It's my dad. I'll see you later. I'll see you later. Mom, come see her. Come say hi to Come say hi to your godfather. Come say hi to your goddad.
Brandy said, "I'm going to just not say what it was and just keep it to myself for my own personal reasons." 7. The number 11. When dealing with occult rituals, numerology takes on a primordial importance. In the case of Whitney Houston, the number 11 is definitely a factor. In elite occult circles, the number 11 is a master number. It cannot be reduced, and, because it exceeds the number 10, the number of perfection, by 1, it is usually associated with bad foreboding and black magic. Kabbalists associate the number 11 with transgression of the law, rebellion, war, sin, sorcery and martyrdom. For this reason, the occult elite often associates mega rituals involving sacrifice with the number 11. What was the massive mega ritual of the modern times? At the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, Veterans Day, aka Remembrance Day. Going further than the date of her death, another link associates Whitney and her death with Lady Gaga and previous Grammy Awards. As some know, Lady Gaga had close ties with fashion designer Alexander McQueen, who was no stranger to occult and mind control symbolism in his work. McQueen died on February 11, 2010. During the 2011 Grammy Awards, Gaga stated about her song Born This Way, "I need to thank Whitney Houston. I wanted to thank Whitney, because when I wrote Born This Way, I imagined she was singing it, because I wasn't secure enough in myself to imagine I was a superstar. So, Whitney, I imagined you were singing Born This Way when I wrote it." Born This Way was released on February 11, 2011. Exactly 1 year later, Whitney Houston dies on February 11, 2012. Did Gaga, or her handlers, know something that the rest of us didn't? Artists usually have their award ceremony wardrobes selected well in advance. Apparently, death was on their mind. Another little fact, Whitney's room number was 434, which in Kabbalistic numerology equals 11, 4 plus 3 plus 4. 8. Statements from industry veterans. Who is better placed than artists who have worked in the music industry for years to provide insightful takes on the death of Whitney Houston? They obviously do not hold the ultimate truth, and they might just be trying to make sense of things like the rest of us, but they have first-hand experience when it comes to the workings of the music industry. During an interview on Good Morning America, industry giant Celine Dion bluntly blamed the bad influence of show business for Whitney's death. She said to Vancouver Sun, "It's just really unfortunate that drugs, bad people or bad influence took over. It took over her dreams. It took over her love and motherhood. When you think about Elvis Presley and Marilyn Monroe and Michael Jackson and Amy Winehouse, to get into drugs like that, for whatever reason. Is it because of the stress and bad influence? What happens when you have everything? What happens when you have love, support, the family, motherhood? You have responsibilities of a mother and then something happens and it destroys everything. That's why I don't do parties and I don't hang out. That's why I'm not part of show business. We have to be afraid. I've always said you have to have fun and do music, and you can never be part of show business because you don't know what it's going to get yourself into. You have to do your work and get out of there." Another legendary diva, Chaka Khan, was even more direct when explaining the true cause of Whitney's death. During an interview with Piers Morgan, she stated to eerily, "I think we all, as artists, because we're highly sensitive people, and this machine around us, this so-called music industry, is such a demonic thing. It sacrifices people's lives and their essences at the drop of a dime. I had a manager once say to me, 'You know you're worth more money dead than alive.' And added, 'I mean, I've cried for her, a lot over the years, so many times. In a way I've mourned her, because I felt something was gonna happen because she was so close to the wire.'" Was Chaka Khan exaggerating when using the terms demonic and sacrifice when describing the music industry? Judging by the symbolism found at the Grammy Awards, she was probably right on the dot. And you? What do you think about the death of Whitney Houston? Accident? Drugs? Murder? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell to be notified of new videos.